Thank you. Yes, this is the Ugandan presentation, and I have Ibrahim Magemeso, the acting commissioner there. I, Bruno, from Chambogo University, Edna there. So this is the reason why Geodesy is important to Uganda. Uganda's population is at 45 million, and 73% of the 45 are youth. So this means that we will have a lot of development that is coming up. And one of the key developments there is the East African crude oil project. And the land.
Because of the interpreter.
Ah,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
The other projects that the nation is doing, we are doing a systematic land registration across the country. We are into landslides in the mountainous areas. Both the eastern and the western parts of Uganda are mountainous. We are also looking at Uganda is at the border of two plates, the Nubian plate and the Somali plate. So we are doing some studies in that. And then the last one is the weather forecasting and monitoring. So basing on our location as Uganda, we are in the equatorial ionization area. So these are the key areas where geodesy is important. This is our status as a nation. Currently, we have the 3 tiers. The first tier, we basically have one IGS station. In the tier number 2, the nation one, we have 40 stations. We started with 12 in 2019, and then last year we upgraded with 28 to make it 40. We have the private ones, which total up to 44. So basically, in terms of core stations, we are at 84. Then in 2019, we upgraded. We started the project of moving from a static local datum to a static international datum. That's the ITRF 05, Epoch 2010.0. And with all this, we are heading towards modernization. So this is the action point in our case. Number 1 is the legal framework to adopt GNSS throughout the different things. The second one is to move from our local datum to ITRF. The third one is to build capacity throughout. And then the other challenge that is across is the working on the improvement of the transformation parameters. And the key contribution that we are looking towards is our inclusion towards the African goal, that's the AFREF. Thank you very much.
Can you speak in French? Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Another. Let's go one more. Go forward again.
The one?
Go this way.
This
Yeah.
one? Encore. Non, non, c'est zoom.
There you go. That's it.
Tu cliques.
One more.
C'est bon. C'est bon. Okay. We go to the next slide.
There you go.
Yes.
Right. You can restart your timer. That's okay. 40 seconds on that. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Go for it.
Voilà, merci beaucoup. Donc, moi, c'est Dr. Diego Diouf, je suis enseignant à l'Université de Thiès. Donc, je vais faire cette présentation avec mon collègue Ousseynou Niang. Donc, nous sommes accompagnés également de notre collègue Moustapha Fall. Donc, ici, nous allons vous parler sur les défis et les enjeux de la modernisation du réseau de référence géodésique du Sénégal. Voilà. Donc là, nous allons passer assez rapidement parce que beaucoup de ces aspects-là que nous avions abordés ont été déjà soulignés pendant ces différents jours de formation que nous avons fait ensemble. Donc ici, ce qui est juste et spécial, c'est qu'en fait, le référentiel géodésique, la géodésie du Sénégal aujourd'hui s'inscrit dans le cadre de la transformation systémique en fait du pays à travers les nombreux projets aujourd'hui qui sont initiés. Et donc, comme nous l'avons déjà montré, la géodésie va en fait jouer un rôle important, va constituer en fait une base, un support pour l'ensemble en fait de ces projets qui sont sur le point d'être mis en place au Sénégal et à travers également un projet de sécurisation foncière dans lequel en fait il est prévu la mise en place sur l'ensemble du territoire national à travers donc différentes communes de ce qu'on appelle les systèmes d'information foncière communale. Et d'ailleurs, c'est pour cela en fait qu'en 2021, une étude de faisabilité a été initiée dans le cas, en fait, une étude de faisabilité qui avait pour objectif de faire un diagnostic de référentiel géodésique en fait, du pays pour pouvoir comprendre en fait, les points forts et les points faibles du référentiel qui a été mis en place depuis 2004 et rattaché à l'ITRF 2000. Et donc, en fait, cette étude avait montré que sous ces points géodésiques qui constituaient en fait ce référentiel, par rapport aux points de premier ordre, une bonne partie en fait, de ces points, en fait, 25% pour être plus précis de ces points n'étaient
25% and more were no longer usable, but 5% of them also difficult to access. So we can still use 100% of these points. Following this study, this diagnostics, we proposed the implementation of a network of permanent stations throughout the territory for the Geodetic reference system in Senegal, which were made up of 27 permanent stations, which you can see here throughout the national territory. And this will be added to by first and second order markers, which will also make up the passive network. And I'll give the floor to my colleague. Indeed, we have the implementation of an infrastructure, so a central monitoring system and a secondary monitoring system with a network, including with cooperation with the private sector. And then capacity building has become a challenge in collaboration with private sector actors as well. Produces quite an interesting economic model, and the importance of this workshop is also developing a legal framework. Senegal is also carrying out the digital transformation of the country through the digitalization of all government systems. We're putting in place a public procurement system which is digital and change the entire governmental architecture to make it digital. And we're doing this also through geodetic updating to position Senegal within the continent and to accelerate our modernization within the land use chain. We need to improve the interoperability of information systems in order to modernize the country, and that's a priority for the state of Senegal. So how can we accelerate this digital transformation through a national strategy within Senegal, where the government has an ambition to carry out a new technology deal to bring together all the information systems within the country in a single platform. The information system platform has also been updated. Currently, the platform is being deployed, and it's this geodetic system which supports all this updating, whether it's information systems or others. So in Senegal, we're seeing how to implement all these aspects throughout the country with a collaboration of all stakeholders and the updating of all systems throughout the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Just go forward on that one. Okay, to your right. Thank you.
Okay, bonjour à tous.
Hello, everybody. If the speaker move back from the microphone, please.
Okay.
Thank you. As you know, I'm Miss, and I'm the head of Geodesic Service and Hydrographic Service within the FTM. The FTM is the Geographic Institution and Cartographic Institution of Madagascar. As a FDM mission, according to the text in force, is to provide a geodetic system which is homogeneous and which is accessible to all users, such as surveyors, topographers, or others. In addition, as a FDM, we are responsible for providing geodetic infrastructures for surveyors and others to reduce land disputes in Madagascar. And as a hydrographic institute, we're also responsible for geodetic systems in terms of altimetry. Geodesy is also used in Madagascar, because it's often said that Madagascar is going to split into 3 parts as a result of geophysics observed by our institutes. Let's speak briefly about the history of geodesy in Madagascar. It began in 1924 until 1965. Here I think you can see the triangulation on the map, which have been established previously in 1965, and the survey markers. Now, around 50% of these have been destroyed. So there's a big hole you can see there on the photo, so they can no longer be used. With the alpha ellipsoid, we worked to strive to modernize geodetic systems in Madagascar. We have determined 92 geodetic points distributed throughout the country. And we're in the ITRF system 2014. We need to strengthen legislation force so that people use the geodetic system. And we also need to convince the government to support geodesy. We also need to carry out capacity building and training. And the technicians, we also need support in order to establish a grid for transformation of the local system to the ITRF. We've improved these transformation parameters by establishing an NTV2 grid format. In terms of other needs, we also need cores stations because we don't have any. And we need to improve their daily use by densifying our geodetic points. And to be part of all of you, the wider world, I think that we need regional coordination, just as happens in AFREF. I think that's all. Thank you very much. Thank you for accepting our candidacy to take part in this workshop on behalf of my country. I would like to say Misaltra. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Côte d'Ivoire.
Oh. There. This is 5 minutes. Je fais plus. Alors, bonjour à tous.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'll present in French because I'm from Côte d'Ivoire. I present Geodesy in Côte d'Ivoire with co-chairs Fernand Ballet. I'm Bienvenu Nyongo, head of the Geodesy service in BNETSD in Côte d'Ivoire. So we have to say that in Côte d'Ivoire, we have seized opportunities with projects to secure our land use in order to modernize our geodetic network. So we are fully aware of the meaning and use of geodesy in terms of land use, with taking into account social aspects as well, and regularizing everything. Could the speaker move away from the microphone, please? For land use in Côte d'Ivoire, we're able to, in Côte d'Ivoire, delimit around 117 villages and deliver around 53,400 land certificates, thanks to the network of permanent stations which were installed in the country. Our geodetic network in Côte d'Ivoire is constituted of around 5 permanent stations.
5 stations permanentes et
5 permanent stations. So our network in Côte d'Ivoire is made up of 5 permanent stations and passive markers, which are in 4 levels. The first level is 43 markers, and that's the main network. The second network is 716 markers, and the third level is now 1,000 passive net markers. So our main work has been to link together the first network with the ITRF 2014 with the support of the World Bank and the Land Use Network Côte d'Ivoire. Our current challenge today is to modernize all of Côte d'Ivoire with GNSS stations. As a priority need in Côte d'Ivoire, with the land use project, we've installed 6 permanent stations in 2022, and this year, in 2025, we plan to install 15 GNSS stations to cover the entirety of the country, and also to strengthen the capacities of local stakeholders. And to develop capacities in Côte d'Ivoire, we count on international collaboration through the UN-GGCE and through collaboration with EGS and the UN-GGCE. Thank you very much.
Oh.
Yeah, just press forward when you want to go to the next one. Thank you.
Welcome to our presentation on geodesy in Zambia. I'm Levi, representing Chitalu from Surveyor General's Office, and Tuapewa from Ministry of Local Government. I'm from the Copperbelt University. The cover slide indicates the spatial distribution of the legacy existing control points throughout the country of different classes. Why geodesy in Zambia? It provides a fundamental framework for all spatial data in Zambia. It supports land administration, mining operations, and agricultural planning, which all use drone technologies, which depend on geodesy. We have the need for infrastructure projects, which require geodesy, and generally managing of our natural resources throughout the country. We have a recent example of application of geodesy in the construction of a hydropower station, the Kafue Gorge Lower, which required centimeter accuracy necessary to avoid construction errors. And it's a clear demonstration of how geodesy directly contributes to our energy security, as well as economic growth as a nation. And this is just a picture of the core stations that we have and other works that have been done. We had 23 core stations until we came to this conference, when 3 were added in a very humorous way. We discovered that one of the Tanzanian researchers here has set up 3 without us being aware. So we had to edit our presentation. He's on number 6. So we have an IGS station. We also, CORS was pioneered by a private sector who established 4. The Ministry of Lands, in collaboration with EU, have set up 15, which are yet to be commissioned. Then we have the mining companies, which have set up 3 for their own use. The private sector use it on commercial basis. You pay to use their CORS stations. Then the universities, the 2 major universities are involved in research and teaching and academic outreach. So this is a distribution of the pioneer CORS stations by AMP, a private company. There are 4 which are running, RTK. Then the newfound CORS stations by UNAFCO, a consortium of universities that is managing, supporting CORS stations throughout the world. And then the EU campaign established 15 in that position. And they are yet to be commissioned, but I think they've finished the installations. As you can see, there's already a challenge of special distribution in the country. We need more this side and more that side. Apparently, the UNAFCO points are in this area, which is good. We'll learn more about them in the course of this conference. In terms of challenges, there's vandalism. A number have been destroyed because the locals think that that's a place where the colonialists left markers for minerals. So they've damaged them. Then the uneven distribution of coverage, which I've already mentioned, as well as limited capacity in geodesy and funding constraints and adjustments which are still required. I forgot to mention in the previous slide that there was a campaign of creating transformation parameters on number 5, which was done, and we're using those transformation parameters today, in spite of being ITRF 2000. We need to update that. Then our plans go for action. We look forward to establishing more CORS station and proper distribution, and more geodesists being trained, and then repair and maintenance of the existing CORS station, and as well as the legacy stations. And we look forward to international collaboration. I'm very happy that this one has already been sorted out. We've created a WhatsApp group for university lecturers, and we look forward to that staff exchange. And this is just a picture of the institutions that are involved in supporting geodesy in Zambia. Thank you.
Last one.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sipio Mputi, I'll be giving a presentation about the status quo of geodesy in South Africa. Why geodesy matters. Geodesy basically underpins all this spatial referencing in South Africa. It also plays a crucial role in the geospatial economy. And it's critical for mapping land use planning, engineering, and disaster management. There are some few real-world examples that I've provided. Inconsistency in height systems, for example, land leveling data, and international height reference system. And also inconsistency in the national horizontal geodetic reference frame versus the ITRF, and complications in the flooding models, modeling, and the infrastructure design, affecting service delivery and disaster response. South African geodetic system is maintained by the Chief Directorate
is maintained by the Chief Directorate of National Geospatial Information via the National Control Surveys Systems. In short, we refer to it as NCSS. The key assets, such as the fundamental third gauge benchmarks, there are 4 of them. It's located in Durban, Durban, East London, Port Elizabeth, and Cape Town. And we also have a model, a hybrid geoid model that we refer to as a SA Geoid 10. It's basically a corrector surface to transform our ellipsoidal heights into orthometric height, into the version of orthometric height that we use in South Africa. And now we've got ongoing research and testing of gravimetric geoid models across the country. Of course, for the purpose of updating our geoid model and also to modernize our vertical datum. And they've got also experienced challenges in the legacy systems, like the Cape datum, HAT 94 datum, and the LLD, basically misaligned with the global framework or reference frame, such as the ITRF and the International Height Reference System. And we've got limiting integration with international systems. We're busy working on that to develop our 7-parameter transformation parameters. We also have geodetic infrastructures distributed across Southern Africa or South Africa. For the vertical datum, we've got our benchmarks or the fundamental benchmarks that are distributed across South Africa, which they form the development of the land leveling datum, which was realized based on the fundamental benchmarks. And the benchmarks are also distributed across South Africa, and precisely leveled trigonometric survey marks, also referred to as TSMs, and reference to the Table Bay first benchmark, which was established in the 1900s. And then on the horizontal, horizontal datum, we've got a national trigonometric networks, which is about 26,000 of them distributed across the country, and an equivalence of TSMs, or town survey marks, which are also distributed across the country, indicated. These are the town survey marks, and then these are the trig beacons, which are distributed across the country. And we also have an active network of TrigNet GNSS base stations, which provide real-time corrections and support modern geodetic applications. These are the TrigNet stations, and this is the distribution across the country. Under space-based infrastructure, we've got active infrastructure, active stations, excuse me, the VLBI, SLR, DORIS, and the multiple GNSS sites, which form part of the international GNSS services. And then we also have feature developments, such as the potential expansion of the geodetic VLBI in support of the SKA project, enhancing continental geodetic capabilities. And a call for action, or what's next, is basically the roadmap is needed to unify the horizontal and the vertical reference system in line with the International Height Reference System and the AFRIAF. And we've got a few priorities that we have to focus on, such as upgrading our gravity data infrastructure, establishing the geoid-based national height datum, and supporting postgraduate research to grow local capacity, and also to encourage policy alignment with the UN-GGCE guidelines. Thank you.
Chasing one more. It's busy chasing time. That was good.
Sorry, South Africa, can you switch off the mic, please?
Thanks. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm presenting on behalf of the Office of the Surveyor General of the Federation of Nigeria, being the national mapping agency. I'm also presenting on behalf of AfriGIS, one of the regional centers in Nigeria, and also on behalf of the academics. I am from the Center for Geodesy and Geodynamics. I'm the director of the center. I wouldn't want to waste my time here because the importance of geodesy cannot be overemphasized. So all other countries have talked about why geodesy is important in their country. So I align myself with them. And even those that will be talking about the importance of geodesy in their country, the same thing is applicable to Nigeria. So I just want to tell you the state of geodesy in terms of institutions. This is how we are being categorized in terms of geodesy. We have the government establishment that are handling geodetic activities. You can see the Office of the Surveyor General of the Federation, the Space Agency, the Center for Geodesy where I'm working, and AfriGIS, Professor Ojigi is here. And also we have the African Regional Center. We also have the academic. We have so many universities in Nigeria that are offering geodesy courses, as well as polytechnics that are offering geodesy courses. We also have the professional body that handles the component of geodesy, basically in the area of surveying and mapping. I want to let us know that the state of geodesy in Nigeria is dated in terms of establishment of infrastructure is dated back in 2008 when we started the establishment of the core station by the Office of the Surveyor General of the Federation, that is the mapping agency. Right now we have up to 25 core stations in Nigeria manned by the mapping agency. And then the private institutions, which are the private surveyors, they also have we have up to 26 of the core stations spread across the different geopolitical region of Nigeria, which they use it basically in their cadastral activities, most especially in terms of land registration. We also have the passive geodetic control station established by the National Mapping Agency. These 60 stations already, GPS observations have been conducted on this GPA, on these 60 passive stations. And that goes back to what Nick was saying, we'll be able to bring them together when we are trying to do a realization. This is what we have in Nigeria. The one you are seeing on your left are the active station, the core station being manned by the mapping agency, and the one on your far right, those ones are the passive stations. They are control stations upon which observations have been carried out. These are the monuments for the 0, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd order, how it is being established across the different parts of the country. And also in Nigeria, we have the IGS station. If you check IGS, you will see one of the stations with the prefix CGGN. Though unfortunately data is not going to IGS for now due to some obvious reasons, but that station is being we are running that station in conjunction with NASA. These are the some of the core stations we have in Nigeria. You see the way we establish them, and we ensure that there is security of some of these core stations. This is a typical example of the one that is established by the National Mapping Agency. I'm sorry, this slide is not too clear to some of us. Aside from the one established by a mapping agency as well as the private surveyors, we have other stations that we've established purposely for the purposely for the research purpose in terms of geodynamic activities. Here we have up to 9 core stations, which we have established, integrate them with seismic stations. And we want to now look at some of the seismicity that is going on in the country. We have up to 9 of them. That's been handled by the office, by the Center for Geodesy. This is a typical example of some of the way the stations are being set up. The one you can see the GPS pillar up there, and then the other building you are seeing is houses the seismic equipment. It's a broadband seismometer. They are all packaged together to be able to monitor geodynamic activities in the country. We have also set up a data processing center in Nigeria. And right now, we already have a Benin software. It's a licensed Benin software we procured. We also have a licensed Trimble Pivot. We also have a licensed Trimble Business Center, which we are now putting them together for training of our manpower, as well as we have students that we come for training to be able to know how to process the GPS or the GNSS data. Yeah, we are. This is our VLBI project, which if there is time for me to discuss about it in details, I'll be able to share with you currently what we are doing with our Chinese counterpart on the VLBI. We also have the CG5 gravimeter for geodetic activities. This is what we have.
Hand it over, Professor.
No, thank you.
2 minutes, 5 minutes. Well done, thank you. Kenya.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You presented for all of them. You presented
Yeah,
for all.
yeah. Good afternoon. My name is Sami Matara. I'm presenting on behalf of the Kenyan team, represented here by Victoria Obura from the Survey of Kenya and Rachel Mazi from Regional Center. Yeah, I think most of these details have been discussed, but it's important to mention that Kenya, we have the Great Eastern Rift Valley crossing the country as shown in green in the map to the right. So I think establishing a geodetic reference frame will be very key for monitoring the tectonic activities across that. I mean, the two plates, the Somalia plate and the Nubia plate. And also there are many infrastructure development projects going on, the railway line and also oil pipelines and also power projects like wind that are near the Lake Turkana to the north of Kenya. So these will be quite key. Geodesy will be quite key in establishing the reference frames for the same. And these power grids are crossing different countries in the East African region from Ethiopia, Tanzania, and Uganda. So synchronization of the electrical grids will also be quite key. I'm saying mainly Geodesy will support that. Similarly, there have been efforts to roll out a national spatial data infrastructure, and this has not been possible because we do not have a uniform geodetic reference frame. So Geodesy will be very key in supporting this project. The current state of geodesy in Kenya, we have disjointed and an outdated geodetic infrastructure, mainly established by the Directorate of Overseas Survey, that is from the UK in the early 1950s. And this is what we are still relying on as a country up to now. And this, of course, means that we have also different types of coordinate systems that are used for mapping, especially for land administration. Making it very difficult to have a uniform cadastral layer or database to cover the entire country. The other challenge is that the passive control network is inadequate and sparse because most of the pillars have been vandalized. There was misinformation that under the pillars there is mercury. So most of the communities were uprooting the pillars looking for mercury. Similarly, at the moment, Kenya does not have a geoid model, and therefore this is quite key. Again, we need a geoid model to be able to have a reliable vertical datum. The plus or the positive that we have is that in Kenya, there's 4 universities that are producing geospatial experts or geomatics engineers every year, around 200. And we also have polytechnics training geospatial related professionals annually. So at the moment, as you can see on the pictures to the right, the national government has established at least 20 core stations across the country, but is only along the developed belt of the country from the coast in Mombasa to Kisumu. And of course, this distribution is not good, and also the network is not active. It has not been officially launched for use by surveyors, but we know that nature abhors vacuum. And therefore, the private sector, we have at least 60 cores established by the private sector. So we have also government parastatals like Kenya Power and Lighting Company that have 15 active core stations that are being used for the power infrastructure. And also we have 20 core stations by a private company that are used by surveyors to carry out survey activities. So the main challenge that we are having is lack of political will to support development of the geodetic infrastructure. Also to the right, there's a monument there, the pillar in white. This is what we're calling the zero order network that was established in 2012. We have such pillars across the country, 18 of them that have been observed and computed and connected to IGS or AFREF. So the way forward, the way forward is basically currently there's a World Bank funded project that is developing a strategy for the country to establish a modern geodetic reference frame. We also need capacity support for the adoption or use of geospatial data, as well as maintenance of the course infrastructure. And the other thing is a policy review to anchor the modernized infrastructure into the law so that we can adopt this for cadastral survey. And finally, regional coordination for integration and also cross-border research. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much. My name is Ntayope, and I'm here to present the status of Geodesy in Ethiopia. Okay, the status of Geodesy in Ethiopia in combination with my friend Kuntamaskan. When it comes to the first slide, it is why Geodesy matters. It's known that Geodesy is a powerful tool and it plays a great role in different sectors. So when it comes to the case of Ethiopia, Geodesy play a role in sectors such as city planning, disaster management, agricultural sector, natural source management, cadastral survey, and different areas. And the same way when it comes to a powerful example occurred recently between September and January, when a series of earthquakes struck the Rift Valley of Ethiopia, ranging from magnitude 4.4 to 5.7 at that time. Geodesy, in combination with that of the space technique, used in order to detect the magnitude of the earthquake and the location, and it provides a great insight for the policymaker in order to just take an action and to save lives. So it is one of the potential application area of Geodesy in the nearest future. In the same way, when it comes to the state of Geodesy, firstly, state of Geodesy in Ethiopia present a mixed picture, some progress, but with significant difficulties. When it comes to on the positive side, the country have a national airborne gravity data set collected between 2006 and 2008, covering the whole country with around 90,000 data points. This is a valuable asset and for the scientific and practical application. There are also some around 4 core stations. Unfortunately, the only one is functional at the moment because of different reasons. And there is also a zero order and first order geodetic networks, which are basically concentrated on the central area of Ethiopia. And the same way, we also have previously we conduct a feasibility study that's basically aimed to modernize the national geodetic infrastructure, and it is one of the 10-year development plan, and it's got an endorsement by different stakeholders, and it will get an approval by cabinet level in the future. And these projects, there are so many core stations. There is also a plan to automate the geodetic service. In the same way, there is also a zero order and first order geodetic network that will be established throughout the country. There is also an institution that's established by proclamation and has a mandate to control and establish geodetic networks throughout the country called SSJ, or Space Science and Geospatial Institute. And the same way, there are some universities which are working with that of the SSJ in order to in consultancy and research, such as at Addis University and the Barda University. And when it comes to some challenges, one of the great challenges that we are facing at the moment is that it is the problem in data handling tinkering, because Geodesy is not about today, not about for the future, and it's also about for the past. So we have to have an organized data handling technique. So it is one of our challenges that we are faced at the moment. When it comes to call to action, we have different leads, but as Nick and Ren present in the previous sessions, before asking something as a support, firstly, we have to understand what's the current GRS system and what we need specifically need to be defined specifically. But when we make it more specific, the first need that we need in the future is that first we need a regional collaboration and different sector and different geodetic sector. Secondly, capacity building, technical assistance and projects. In the same way, fundamental funding and source mobilization are the basic areas that we need in the future from different national and international organizations. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I'll talk about the state of geodesy in Malawi on behalf of Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development. So currently, the geodetic infrastructure is managed by the Department of Surveys in the Ministry of Lands. We are currently developing the GNSS network, which is aligned to ITRIF. The current achievement is that we have migrated from the previous system that we were using to Malawi Geodetic Reference Frame of 2003. The aim was to improve the mapping accuracy in our context. In addition, we doing border boundary demarcation together with the Zambian counterparts using WGS 84. But also we have some challenges. And one of the challenges is that we have limited real-time data access, but also funding. We have outdated gravity data, but the country is planning to transition to using continuous operating reference systems, because we have just drafted a concept that we are sending to the government. We want to have 8 cores in the country. And the next step is that we plan to expand our GNSS network and build a national spatial data center where people can access data easily. But also we want to build 60 pillars nationwide, modern pillars, so that I think we can have accuracy improved in our country. Another thing is that we need capacity building for geodetic professionals. In Malawi, we don't have geodetic professionals, so I think it will be good to have geodetic professionals trained. But also we like access to gravity data and geoid modeling. We are calling for regional coordination, but also that data sharing. I think it has been a call for everyone here. So we welcome partnerships from different countries so that we can work together to modernize, train, but also have a regional alignment in our geodetic infrastructure. Thank you so much.
Bonsoir. Good afternoon. My name is Abdurrahman Jia. I am Mauritanian. I am from the cartography service department. I mean, my colleague Zainabu, we all come from Mauritania. So I'm going to give you this presentation on the situation of geodetics in Mauritania. So I want to talk about this. The context, I would like to say that land use management, the government of Mauritania decided to modernize its geodetic infrastructure in the country by setting up the implementation of 2 projects. So the first project is a new reference system in Mauritania, and the second one is a GNS, a 5-station GNS system in the country. So we're in West Africa. Like you can see, this is the map. I won't dwell on that. So I'll give you some background. Suffice to know that as a whole, the country was colonized by France. We inherited 25 points by IGN, just in Nouakchott, the capital of our country. After that, there's the law 99013 on mining code, which created the geodetic points, or the creation of a geodesic network, which is comprising 32 points, which cover the whole country. So this network is 32 points spread right across the country. It's a large country. When you're talking about distribution, it's a bit complicated. So we also have a georeferencing system within ITRF 9697, as you can see. So that is what we had as a network. Unfortunately, in the course of time, most of the beacons were destroyed due to lack of maintenance. So we only have 3 beacons because there was lack of maintenance and lack of sensitization, because it happens that in certain regions, areas where there's a lot of agricultural activities, people destroy the beacons. I think there's lack of sensitization. People should know the importance of these beacons for geodesy. So this is a real problem. So like you can see, the beacons are distributed across the country, across 32 points. So with the new geodetic system that we have, this is the IGM 2020. So it is a first order network. It has 60 beacons covering the whole country. So the beacons were calculated using ITRF 2020 and EPOC 2015. Of course, with the ellipsoid associated giving geographic coordinates, GRS 80. So it also represents ITM, use ITM, UTM when you talk about it is covered by frames. 3 frames is quite vast. With this new system, like you can see, yesterday we talked about this. There's a problem of altimetrics. So we have a tide gauge, which is going to help us, and we're going to create a new altimeter system. And the heights are determined with this model. But in the past, alti-epsoid were determined by using the international model EGM 2008. Like you can see, this is the distribution of the network. The 60 points are distributed as follows. So we also have installed a 5-station network and 2 servers. The stations are amongst others in certain areas which are priorities. So we put them in priority areas to improve on the precision. They are as follows. So by way of conclusion, I would like to say that there is a political will, and we have a capacity building program, like you can see. We are working on it. So there's a lot of work to be done, and we also need support, financial and technical support to try to continue, because there is we need to densify this network. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Hi. Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Abdelilah Tahait from Morocco. So I'm representing the academic community, which is a small community working on geodesy. And I will tell you about the development story of geodesy in Morocco, including other institutions. So I'm the development started with a request from Massachusetts Institute of Technology to collaborate on tectonic studies. So in 1999, then the University of Rabat and the University of Montpellier. I'm also involved in a teaching in a center for remote sensing and space technologies. For French speaking language, it will be useful for this part of African states. So this is the matters. So we when we started, the big issue was to understand the movement between Africa and Eurasia. Morocco is located on this border. In the north, you can see the north part is there are earthquakes, and then it was developed for troposphere, precipitable water, ionosphere for space weather. Then with colleagues from the cadastral and mapping service, they developed a reference frame. So the situation now is like this. In the left map, I present the permanent stations that we use it in scientific research for collaborating with the INCFCC, the cadastral agency. So we use these permanent stations and other campaign station, quite a dense network in the northern Morocco, to produce or to see the movement that happened between Europe and Africa. So we can see in the right side the movement with respect to Europe in the top picture, and the movement with respect to Africa in the south in the bottom picture. So in green, the green map is the network of the cadastral agency course network. It is quite dense. Now it's becoming more dense, like in this map. It's almost more than 100 station, permanent station. So we host also the Rabat station, which is IGS station. It's included also in the NASA Global GNSS network. And other stations are shared on with scientific community with in open in UNAVCO. So what next? For now, we are trying to tighten the collaboration with all institutions, universities, cadastral agency, and others. Meteorology, they have another network co-located with meteorological stations. And there are other universities also. They have some stations. We hope we can homogenize everything and process every data doc. So we participate in teaching for Geodesy. So we need to make regular or annual and semi-annual surveys, permanent stations to be maintained, and combine all GNSS stations in a national data center. Then, of course, research is one of the main purposes for us, and contribute to AFREF. It will be a great hope. Thank you very much. So this is my.
So, I will be speaking in French. So Cameroon is in Central Africa. It is characterized by a geological situation that divides the country into two. So in the west, it has the Atlantic Ocean. So you see the natural catastrophes, disasters that we have seen. So I'm trying to capture the importance of geodetics with this. So we lose about 25 people through landslides and floods. Douala, Limbe, that are coastal towns. On the right, you have a dam that has been built where a bridge is flooded. So this illustrates the importance of altimetric reference in the country. In the same vein, we have serious challenges when it comes to land, where the cadastre has serious problems. Here we have some parcels which are overlapping when you try to plot the parcel, because the reference is supposed to be redone. So we have a projection system which travels through UTM zones. So this is something that needs geodesy. So when it comes to the status of play, so since 2011, we have a passive network which comprises 25 reference pillars. On the other hand, we have altimetric reference, which is a legacy of the colonial period, which had 3,600 beacons. And today we have just about 80 beacons. So we have a GEOD model whose precision is 11 centimeters. So we are going to continue to make this network more dense. When it comes to the course network, we'll finalize the study. This is a design. By next year, we are going to get on with the installation, but there are some private initiatives that we can see, and Cameroon seeks to modernize its geodetics network with the permanent network. So we need 10 stations which would cover all the regions. We have another initiative, the GNSS network to look at the level of water in the dams and also the coastal areas. This is in collaboration with the university in Bonn. We are going to have 8 receptor sessions. So this is going to give us a database that will enable us to cover the 0.0 of leveling and to recalibrate the existing network. It will also enable us to monitor the floods, coastal flooding, and also inland flooding. So this is a technology that is new, and it is interesting to track the floods in the waterways. With that, I thank you, and I give you back the floor.
Thank you. Next, we have Botswana. Who's the representative? Where are we?
Botswana.
Which one?
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Lopa Mapale from Botswana. I'm working at the University of Botswana as a lecturer, and the report that I'm presenting here, it's on behalf of, I'll just say Botswana, not any department. So my presentation is going to be more focused on the modernization of National Spatial Reference System, essentially because of the main reasons that have been raised so far regarding geodesy and its importance in facilitating development and of course security of tenure or title. So here in Botswana, this is the summary for NSRS in Botswana, the geodetic reference system there. We have 2 datums. The original datum that all surveys were based on is really but a continuation of the Cape datum, which was explained earlier on by the South Africans, which was an extension, which was done by the Director of Overseas. And then, of course, we have discovered that there are some distortions in some of the controls that are existing. So with the coming in of GPS in 2001, we did a campaign with an intention of aligning our system, or rather developing a geocentric system and aligning it to ITRF 99, which was done. And then the only problem that we now had, because we already had a lot of data on the old system, is that you know, now it was not possible. You know, the transformation parameters between the 2 systems was not acceptable, especially in the context of doing the measure jobs like planning, cadastral surveying, engineering, and so forth. And then, of course, as such, the intention was to try and then migrate all our data to that new system. But because of the error issue, nothing, then we couldn't do that. So as such, we have now decided, or let me say, we then the system develop the cost resources with them. So far, around 69 have actually been installed around the country. Most of them are quite functional. I think well over half of them are RTK or cost compliant. And as such, they take part in national development. But the problem is that we cannot now relate the 2 systems. So as a way forward, intention is to carry out some research work, which is going to be geared at, doing a new system or developing a new system, and then that is going to be carefully done between the industry and the university in order to try to obtain superior results. And then, of course, this will be the objectives of the work that we intend to do, to conduct a comprehensive study to investigate approaches for the development of regarding the development of the old system itself. Why is it that the old system is actually giving us a problem when we try and make some transformations between the legacy system and the geocentric system? And then, of course, we'll then develop a modern and functional system, which we intend to then base it on ITRF 2020. And then, of course, we also want to design an integrated geospatial framework policy for the country in the process of doing all these things. So I'm already giving you way forward. And then, of course, the methods that, of course, we intend to utilize. Interestingly, some of them I've actually now borrowed them from here. For instance, number 2 there, and the last one there. I find them quite aligning with some of the things that I was already thinking when I was coming here. So, okay. So basically this here is the observation campaign that we intend to do, but on the other side is just the old map, the one showing the IGS station. And then, of course, these are the expected outcomes of the work that we intend to do in order to improve the systems. Thank you.
Thank you. Well done.
Ok, c'est bon. D'accord, merci.
Thank you all. I take the floor on behalf of Burkina Faso. My name is Wedrago. We're going to be presenting to you the current situation and the geodetics infrastructure in Burkina Faso. Suffice to say, we need to understand the importance of geodesy. We are all unanimous here that it is a science that will enable us to have a better understanding the form and the dimensions of the Earth. It is also going to facilitate some aspects of land use planning, as well as project management in a given territory. So we will be able to understand management of floods, because we need to know some information when it comes to altimetrics, and all the actors are supposed to be in line with that. And we also have management of land, agriculture, and irrigation, and also other activities that rely on geodesy. So this is an important link for the development of a country. So by way of context in geodesy in the country, we have geodesy infrastructure altimetrics. We have one network of 13 permanent stations, and 11 new ones are being done in 2025. Amongst them, there are 9 that were installed in 2011, 2012, and 4 date back to 2018. We also have a passive beacon network. We have those of the first order, 80 to 100 kilometers, And we also have a second order, 702 beacons. We also have communal beacons that were set up when it comes to the land use management. We have 2 beacons per commune, and we have 704 beacons in the country. The reference system that we are using in Burkina Faso is ITRF 2008, EPOC 2011, and the calculation that was done, GRS 80. The projection system that we are using, Burkina Faso, is characterized by 2 time zones. So to facilitate the usage of this data by all the actors, we have unified the projection system to have a single system. We have BFTM, which covers the whole country. We also have leveling infrastructure, which are spread across the country. I'm going to show you the active GNSS course network, which is represented by 13 stations. This is a platform that enables us to collect data. So all the networks are linked to a calculation center where we're going to get data. The leveling data. This is the map of the leveling network. We are basing ourselves on West African levels, and we try to rebuild new beacons, and the tide gauge we use is the one for Senegal, Dakar. Then we want to step up the density of stations. We have 11 new stations that we are setting up. We also need to have more passive networks because there are people who are still using legacy systems. We also have a third order system to be put in place. We also have, by way of forward, adapting to the GEOID model at the national level from the results that we got. So we also have a gravimetric network that is being set up. We also have the training of different personnel, training them in getting the different stations and the gravimetric network. We also have the adaptation of a GEOID model. So this is what we wanted to present to you from Burkina Faso by way of information. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just start by saying APO, and APO stands for All Protocols Observed. I'm presenting on behalf of Zimbabwe. I'm from the academic sector, but the information I'm going to present is mainly from the department which is responsible for geodesy in the country, which is the Department of the Surveyor General. And why does geodesy matter in Zimbabwe? We have got national programs such as the National Development Strategy 1, which is being used by the government to try and implement certain policies to improve the livelihood of the people in the country. And a lot of those developments really have to do with spatial data. And the country is also aiming to be in the upper middle class income category by 2030. And we believe that for that to happen, a lot of our spatial data has to go digital, and that can only be possible if our geodetic network is up to scratch. Therefore, the critical areas that we think in Zimbabwe are important. We are looking at land tenure, security, so that we are slowly moving from 99-year leases to title deeds for some of the farms that we acquired. So in terms of ensuring that the title deeds are secure, our geodesy has to be very good. So on navigation as well, disaster risk reduction, all those are really important for us. But I think the major thing for Zimbabwe at the moment is to ensure that we've got a secure land tenure system in place, both in the urban and in the new farming areas that are being rolled out. And in terms of the infrastructure, I think we have we inherited a very good network from before independence of trig networks. We have also managed to put up a countrywide course network, and those are the institutions that are responsible for maintaining those geodetic matters, starting with the Department of the Surveyor General, all the way to international engagements with RCM, RD, who are based here. But we also have problems because Zimbabwe does not yet have its own GEOID, which means the national trig system and the course data, linking them is still proving problematic. So as a result, we have got serious data migration issues that we need to deal with. This is the legacy trig network that we inherited. As you can see, it consists of primary beacons, secondary beacons, tertiary beacons, as well as the tertiary beacons. And all in all, we are talking of over 7,000 control points in the country. And a few have been destroyed, as has been destroyed before, but the majority are still in place, and we can still use them. In terms of cause, we have got this Zimbabwe National Geospatial Space Agency, which has come in and established quite a number of cores, and this is their cores map. And we also have the Department of the Surveyor General, which has established 10 cores. 5 of them are functional, 5 are yet to be commissioned. And the Department of the Surveyor General is in the process of acquiring 10 extra core stations, and the city of Harare has got 1. So all in all, at the moment, we have got about 30 cores that are on the system, with 26 of them operational. What do we think is our next call up? I think we would want to have increased government support so that we can intensify the course network. We also want to strengthen our academic institutions. We've got 3 universities offering degrees in geomatics, but unfortunately, none of them has got a specialization in geodesy. And as a result, the country and Africa at large, as has been pointed out, we seem to have a lack of geodesists. So I think we need to develop more of these geodesists in that tender. Thank you.
And last one for this session, Sierra Leone. Thank you.
Good afternoon again. I'm Jobo Samba from Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone is on the west coast of Africa, and between 1990 and 2012, the country went through a very serious civil war, civil strife. So all our infrastructure in terms of geodetic network and capacity records were all destroyed. So we are starting afresh to build geodetic infrastructure, and we are doing that through the Sierra Leone Land Administration Project, which is a World Bank supported project. And that project has 5 components. The first component is actually looking at the objective of the project is to revamp the land system in the country. This is where we are looking at establishing an efficient and accessible land administration system. And to do that, we have 5 components. The first component is looking at institutional and legal reforms. Institutional, this is where we are establishing a National Land Commission, and the National Land Commission will be responsible for a cadastral and registration services. And we're also revamping new laws to be able to speak to some of these new technology. We are also interrogating old existing laws under component 1. Component 2 is looking at land information system. This is where we're looking at developing a comprehensive land information system that will provide both cadastral and registration services, and establishing the geodetic network, and establishing also a cadastral system for the country. Component 3 of that project, this is where we will do a systematic land title registration. So one of the laws we are doing is going to provide for land registration. We are moving from registration of instruments to registration of title. So under component 3, we are going to do that. And under that component, we're also establishing structures to ensure that communities and local communities and local communities are included in the management of the land resources. So under component 2, that is where we are establishing costs. The process of establishing the course started in 2024, where we hired a firm, and the firm is supposed to establish for us 13 course network across the country. The firm started working in January 2022, January 2024, and for the establishment process, so the firm had to do what we call a reconnaissance site visit. The site visit was to identify the locations for where the course network will be installed. And at the end of the day, the approach utilized by the farm is on-site physical visits, geodetic and GNS data collection and analysis, sites, satellite visibility, environmental and electromagnetic interference checks, infrastructure, and accessibility. Basically, this is the method the firm used to identify the locations of the 10 cores, and the security of that course is of the locations is ensured. We ensure the security by ensuring that all of the locations will be within government infrastructure, either police stations or government hospitals, so on and so forth. So based on the data collected by the firm, the locations have been identified, and a course network has been developed. That's the network we see there on the board. It's 13 of them, and it's covering almost 62 square kilometer of the country. The entire country is 72 square kilometer. Within the 62,000 square kilometers, the accuracy of the course will be between 2 to 3 centimeter, and outside of that will be between 3 to 5 centimeter. So 9 courses currently have been installed, but they are not operational. We're moving towards installing the remaining 4. So once that is finished, then we move towards capacity building, which will target operationalization, maintenance, and so on and so forth. So the next step after capacity building will be to transfer to the government of Sierra Leone. And after that, our next step will be, as you have heard, capacity is really very low. So our target is to increase capacity within the country so that we are able to deliver services based on the core, based on the network. So I thank you very much.
Sorry, I need to leave time for our other speakers this afternoon. But thank you to everyone who presented in this session.